pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop.
And we are back with your Purple Pants podcast Pitstop rewatch of Amazing Race season 15, episode 10. And I am joined by my smart, my elegant, and if you need a restaurant recommendation in the city of New York, she has got your back. The winner of Amazing Race season 29, Miss Brooke Camhi. What's popping with you, Brooke?
How are you? I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here because we have a very special additional guest with us here today, and I can hardly contain my excitement.
Before you introduce him, I just want to put some preferences in. I need Lewis and Michelle, if they are watching, to pause because, Brooke, I am so excited for this guest because this guest is probably one half of my favorite Amazing Race teams ever. Continue to take it away.
I feel like you may have said that about another team once before, but I'm going to let it slide. And if people know, they know because, you have a thing for Angie. Anyway, he's definitely one half of one of my favorite teams ever. No offense, but I do love your dad. Okay, so anyway, he is the man with the stats. He is smart. He is funny. He's obviously handsome. And he knows his stuff and will give me a run for my money. And I love that. I have to do very little today because I know he has come with notes and statistics. And that is from all of the research that he has done and not at all because of any artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast one half of Team Rob and Corey McArthur from the Amazing Race season 35. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thank you all for having me. I'm so pumped and I'm very impressed you remembered. Honestly, there's a lot of seasons, so the numbers get scrambled, but I appreciate the kind intro and I'm so stoked to be here with y'all. A legendary podcast and legendary duo.
Corey, you are just the best. We can't do a summer rewatch without you, but I do need to know.
Or a winter rewatch, or a regular season rewatch. I mean,
or a regular
you're invited anytime because you make my life so much easier. Because Brice takes like 6 notes on his phone screen, and I take 12 pages front and back.
That's a lie.
But Corey, you take 1 page of notes on your phone. Is that the truth? What's the answer?
I mean, Corey, if you take notes, does that not count?
Notes are notes, and I'd say let the content do the speaking. Let's see what we get.
Thank you. But Corey, I need to know, before you and your amazing, talented, smart, hilarious will dive deep into some water if he had to, Rob, Dad went on Amazing Race season 35. Was season 15 did you remember this season? Did you watch it in preparation? What do you remember of season 15 when Brooke reached out to you to come on to do our summer rewatch?
What a fantastic question. I love that. That's very thoughtful. Actually, yes. So my dad and I fell in love with the show first on season 14. That was the first season we had ever watched. And from that point on, it became a family watch. So this was the second season we ever watched together. And at that time I was a teenager. So I was doing the thing where I'd half watch, but be on my phone and be sort of engaged. But I very clearly remember my dad and I loved Flight Time and Big Easy. So going into our season, one of the teams that we sort of modeled ourselves off of was Flight Time and Big Easy because we very much wanted to be having fun, number one, first and foremost, while being competitive, but making sure that what you're doing is centered around having a good time and enjoying it and always staying so positive. And I think that they absolutely crushed that. And then, of course, this is a devastating episode if you're a big fan.
Yeah, you didn't totally model yourselves after them because you guys never quit. I'm just saying.
Pick and choose the things that you
talk about. Yeah. So, now, okay. Hit it.
Random in my mind, Corey, as you were talking and just talking about you and your family watching together, did you and your family growing up ever take do you ever see the classic JC Penney family photos? Do you guys ever take family photos? And I only say that because as you were talking, I was remembering your finale and your whole family being there and y'all being color coordinated, looking fly. And then in my mind, I was like, this just
Red
can't be a
satin
one-off with the
shirts,
red,
all
the
set,
satin,
yeah.
like in the black pants. I was like, this can't be a one-off. It's given that, like, I feel like your mom had you guys taking photos that were color coordinated and that are probably iconic.
Yeah, that absolutely is my mom. April McArthur is the one that runs everyone's wearing navy blue. We're doing whatever. We actually have family photos coming up in about a week. So I'm going to be going back to the West Coast and we're getting together for family photos with my mom's extended
What's the
family.
color scheme? What is it?
My side of the family is navy blue. And then I think another part of the family is lavender. It's kind of everyone picked their own thing. But it's not usually, we're not like going to like JCPenney and like getting poses. We're going to like the beach and we're going to all be together, like a garden or something.
Okay.
Is there a professional photographer that's employed for this?
I believe so, but it's like a family friend.
Fair enough.
And if it's the beach, then it's probably like no socks, like you know, I feel like it's
rolled
like
up jeans.
Yeah, like you know, I can
see it.
I trust April's vision.
I'm 0% involved. I just get the text that's like, this is the color you're wearing, bring it. And I just show up.
Does April bring a backup shirt in case the outfit that you bring is not approved?
Not anymore. She trusts me, but typically the shirt I bring is one that she bought for me anyway.
Oh, she's foreshadowing, just
exactly.
like the Amazing Race.
Yeah. She's like, oh, you happen to already have a navy blue shirt. I think that maybe came from Macy's.
I think. It looks exactly like this. Sent you a picture. That, I mean, if you want to bring that one, but that means bring that one. I got it. Okay,
yeah.
Understood.
I won't be going off script.
We're gonna have to. You're gonna have to send us a copy of this picture.
Since we do have you, Corey, and you are familiar with this season of Amazing Race, maybe you can help settle a debate
God, don't do this. Like
happened a couple of episodes ago with
nobody wants
Tiffany
to hear about this anymore. Okay.
And Maria. Do you remember Tiffany and Maria's elimination?
Yeah.
And Tiffany and Maria quit before Phil got out there, and Phil came out there and said, hey, I understand there's something that you guys want to tell me. They said, yeah, we're not going to be able to do it. So unforeseeable, we're going to have to quit the Amazing Race. And I believe last summer, maybe even around this time, Brooke and I were having a debate that you helped clarify that you believed full elimination.
Say it
for
right,
elimination.
say it all.
For elimination. That the teams had to still be actively working and could not have quit. And so with Maria and Tiffany unfortunately quitting, would you consider that?
Would you be any more biased in the way that you're pitching this? Like, this is most. I'm sorry. I was going to.
I'm just April trying to get a family photo
also,
together.
I just want to be really clear. Anyone who's watched this has seen the Lewis and Michelle episode where you appointed Lewis judge and the sole arbiter on what the answer is, and he agreed with me. So I just want to be really, really clear. This has been asked and answered, and asked and answered, and asked and answered.
I just also wanted to say that I
has been beaten to death. So please,
okay. So listen, before Corey even answers, I just want to say this. Lewis,
I just want to say, Corey, you look very smart and handsome right now.
Yes,
please continue.
Lewis was
right
a district court. Okay, and now
looked okay. And where are we now?
Okay, and now we are at the Supreme Court.
There are steps in between there. Just FYI, listen, you don't go straight from
and we've gone and we're at episode 10. We've gone through other episodes and we've had other people. We've had Danny weigh in on this. Okay, and now we have Corey, and I will never bring it up again. Corey will set the land. Corey will set the land of the law. So please. Your Honor, take.
Wait, so I don't get to say anything? You're just you pitch it how you pitch it, and that's it.
Corey, this is your courtroom. If she can speak, you can allow her. I've just given you the synopsis.
30 seconds. I need 30 seconds.
What's the? I forget what the word is when it's like allowed. Continue. What's the court word for that?
We could just say I'll allow it. That's fine. That works. Great. So I just want to be really, really clear. In this situation, all the other teams had checked into the pit stop. There was only one team left out on the course. Phil went out on the course and met them on the course. And all the it's my turn.
Objection.
Overruled. So
you're not the judge.
I was in the middle of my 30 seconds. You can't interrupt. That's not how it works.
Okay.
Brice, you'll be allowed a 10-second rebuttal after Brooks finishes her thought.
Seems unfair, but okay. But the judge is wise beyond his years, and so that's okay. So Phil went out on the course. All the other teams had checked in, and Tiffany Maria said, "We're going to have to quit because we can't do this." But I'll tell you what, they never should have even been able to say that because there's nothing to quit from. Everyone else had already checked in. If another team had still been out there, then yes, if you quit, you're not eliminated. But there is no other space. It's as if there were room for 5 people in a job, and there were 6 people vying for it, and all 5 spots had been filled. You cannot quit if there is no job for you. So anyway, it's a elimination because Phil went out on the course. And there was a team still actively out on the course. The fact that they wanted to quit does not matter because they couldn't quit because there's nothing to quit from. The leg was over. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you. Heard.
Your Honor, if I could rebuttal. And before I even start my rebuttal, if you need a Navy shirt, I have a plethora that you could borrow from. I do just want to say that I am rather new to Amazing Race. However, because
that's
of the
10
guidance,
seconds. Just really clear, you wasted your 10 seconds talking about a Navy shirt.
Because of the guidance, the love, and joy that you and your father have brought to the screen, it has truly changed my life, and it has made me watch other seasons. And yes, Miss Camhi might be right. There were no other teams out there. However,
Attorney Camhi.
Attorney Camhi. There could have been a non-elimination rate, a non-elimination at this time. And so for them to quit,
but there wasn't.
But how will we know? And so I just want to respectfully keep that in your mind, because in a elimination, you should be actively working, and Phil comes to stop you. I do believe, if I could cite case in court, season 37, the Files brothers, needle in a haystack. The Files brothers were still actively going.
Elimination. It's not one
and
or the
yes,
other.
They didn't quit. He came out. They were still working.
You know how many teams have said I quit
them
when they didn't actually quit? You know how many people say I want to quit, I'm going to quit, I quit, and they don't actually quit? It doesn't matter. There was no spot for them. It's a elimination.
I respectfully rest my case.
On the Amazing Race.
All right.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me this time. I promise that was not me this time. Hold on. Wait, that was not. I swear that was not me.
Perfect.
That was not me.
Kicked me out. That's fine.
Your Honor,
thank you.
Please make your ruling.
Perfect. Okay. First, I'd like to say thank you for all the compliments. They will not weigh in my verdict, but please keep bringing them. It makes me feel amazing. So thank you. Second point I would like to make here is, honestly, I'm at such a crossroads with it because I think it's such a gray area. Brooke, you made a wonderful point. So many teams say, I'm going to quit. And then how that's used in editing is completely up to production. Like, they will sometimes pick a quote that is going to steer the narrative that tells the story of what happened. And so that's valid. I think, Brice, you also made a wonderful point. That could have been a non-elimination leg. And then they evaluated, oh, this team is never going to finish either of these detours. Maybe like we just need to call it because we can't wait 24 hours for the rest of the teams to get going. Let's just, go out there, eliminate them, and it's easier. If we
go out there and what?
Whoa. And use the part that they said that they're quitting. So I have a hard time. I'm going to lean a little bit that it is a elimination because Phil went out there. But I do think that there's enough gray area that I don't feel great about it. I don't love that as like a traditional elimination because they said they're quitting, but I do think that they were so far behind that it didn't matter. Like, they were going to.
Just want to be very clear that Brice said he will never speak of it again, and that Corey's decision is the rule of law. Thank you. Why don't we jump into the episode?
I think there's a little bit of truth in everything. A little bit of truth in all of it. It's a weird
want to say Rob is the real judge here, and Corey's decision isn't final, so that's fine. But listen, we will respect Judge
Oh, I
Corey's
definitely
decision.
respect it because it's correct. Okay. Thank you, Corey. You're as beautiful as you are smart. Okay. Should we get into the episode?
Let's do it.
can.
Do it.
Oh my God. I just need like 10 seconds to just revel in this.
Whatever. Keep it moving, Brooke.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm also curious, quick, Brice, I'd love a quick 2-sentence. What are your thoughts on, you got introduced to Amazing Race in the most recent seasons, and now this is your like what, second, third old school season?
Yes.
What's your impression? You're 10 episodes in. Like, how are you feeling about the old school seasons?
It's the wild, wild west. And I love it. Like I have to say, there are times when Brooke sometimes suggests us do a rewatch, and I'm like, I want to take the summer off, Brooke. Like I want to just kind of relax with family. But I get into them, and I love how different the seasons are. I love the nuances that I can see from the newer seasons to the older seasons. I also love seeing the rules change, the evolution of it, but the drama of these older seasons. No shade to you or your season, Corey. Like it was great. Everyone for the most part got along. But these older seasons, it is wildly different, and I absolutely love it. I don't agree with a lot of the things that happen. It makes me have opinion. It makes me have to call Brooke a million times, but I love it, Corey. It's so much fun to watch and to see the evolution of the show. So it's truly a privilege.
I don't even think this rewatch was my idea, but even if it was my idea, I will tell you, Brice gets so into it, and he watches most of these episodes in an ungodly hour and thinks, if I'm up, everyone's up, and FaceTimes me in the middle of the night or very early in the morning. And I do always answer because I just really, really enjoy his takes on everything. But even if it was my idea, Brice is very into it. He doesn't want to take anything off. Like,
it sounded like you were setting that up.
He already pitched the next one.
It sounded like you were setting that up to complain about it, and then ended with I'm so happy he calls.
I love it. It's great. It's so fun because I know what episode he's watching, so I usually know what the gripe is going to be. Yeah. I mean, on this one, I'll tell you, he called me no less than 13 times for a 45-minute episode. So let's talk about it a little bit, and the audience can guess every time that he called me because there were so many. He's like, I'm not going to call you again. The phone rang in 4 minutes. I had my husband pick up at one point. I was like, just you talk to him because whatever.
But
okay.
Before we start this episode, though, can I just tell you what
that Corey said it was this elimination? He's a genius.
Where okay. we have already what do you we filed
we're not moving on
an appeal.
That's
yes. Mm-hmm. But what I love,
you can't appeal the Supreme Court, sir. And you made Corey the Supreme Court.
Oh, we didn't get the senior judge. It doesn't matter. But again, what I've loved about this season, and specifically the start of this episode, I loved that it was a night episode. Like I loved that. And I tend to think that during these episodes, and I think even what was it, Greg and what was the son and dad, Matt? Was it Greg and Matt? Gary and Matt. Mm-hmm. And I think like 3 episodes ago, they got to the airport, and Gary's like, another night in the airport. And so as we're starting this late at night, I love the fact that the episode, it was all at night. And I love that it threw them for a loop, because it's like, I'm sure they probably thought we'll get somewhere, we'll have 7 hours or about to ride a train or something. And the episode said, or Phil said, no, your asses is going to work tonight. So just...
I love that. Our second to last episode was a night episode also. Did you have any nighttime running episodes?
Our finale,
your finale was nighttime.
We had a flight delay, and so it wasn't initially going to be, and then it ended up being a night.
Seattle? Where was your finale?
Seattle, yeah.
Seattle. Oh, I was right. Okay, speak up, Brooke. You know what you're talking about. Okay, so your finale was fun with this. Do I? I do. And Corey agrees. So get over it. Okay, so we're leaving Prague Castle. Megan and Shane are leaving first, 9:46 p.m. Sam and Dan are half an hour later. Flight time, Big Easy are 4 minutes after that. And Brian and Ericka are bringing up the rear at 11:40 p.m. You have to make your way to the Spanish synagogue. Shout out to my Jews for the next clue. And it is the oldest Jewish house of prayer in Prague, in Europe. I don't know, but somewhere. So you know what? This recap is too hard. I think I quit. I'm just kidding. I'm not Big Easy. Okay, so Megan and Shane have decided they are now focused on making it to the final 3. They are making great decisions. So this either means they're going to win it all or they're going home today. But we learn they're not going home today because they're not quitters. They get to the Spanish synagogue. Now, let's just keep in mind, they only had 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes, like 27 minutes on the next team, right? They get to the first spot, they get to the second spot, and they have to make their way to this Ekotechnické Museum for their next clue. It's 4 miles away across the city. They get there, and they're already there when Flight Time and Big Easy. Where are Sam and Dan? Okay, so Sam and Dan, no, sorry, I have to turn this over. That's the thing. Sam and Dan start the leg. So they're already at the second spot at this point because they're very good at directions. Sam and Dan have decided they now know they're being portrayed as the villains, and they're okay with that. And I say, cool, at least know who you are, know what you're doing, own it, and be who you're going to be. And they very much own it this episode. Okay, so I am not able to talk. At the Ekotechnické Museum, the roadblock happens very early in this episode. I love this roadblock. I always have loved it. I would have loved to do this roadblock. No one will change my mind. Like, it is a puzzle. It is OCD organization. Like, if you do the math, it's a 5-letter word, and you know all the letters. So there's 120 possible outcomes that you can have. This is like basic 5 factorial. This is basic math. 120 options, right? And let's get real. If it's a real word, it's not going to go ZN anything.
Right.
Like, it's not going to be what it's going to be, but fine. So the roadblock says, in order to attain the impossible, one must attempt the absurd. And you have to go into this museum and pick up several hundred phones for 5 that has a person on the other end giving you a letter. You get all 5 letters. You can't write anything down. And then you have to fill out a form in the supervisor's office. I kind of feel like you shouldn't have been allowed to write anything down in there either, but it is what it is, and that's fine. And so Megan decides she's going to do this roadblock, and she starts picking up phones. I have noticed that almost everyone says hello at every phone they pick up, which I just thought was so funny, but I probably would have done the same thing. But everyone's, hello, hello. So she's going through with mnemonic devices. R is for rabbit, Z is for zebra, F is for ferret, N is for, she doesn't know an animal that starts with N, but who cares, because she gets in and out of there so fast that even only with like a 27-minute lead, she finishes this roadblock as the next team is showing up. So it is a very doable roadblock. Just saying, because it seems doable.
Have you two ever seen the movie Scream?
Scream, all of them, yes.
Oh my God. You've never seen
them.
Scream, Corey?
Oh my God. Teeny bopper horror movies are my jam.
Have you seen I Know What You Did Last Summer? God, Corey.
What?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. And I just also want the people to know this is the judge that Brooke wants us to have the final decision. But I believe in Scream, you know the Scream mask, right?
Yeah.
So at one point, I believe the young lady in Screams, her name was Sydney. And he would call the house and be like, Sydney, I swear the guy that was saying R was the guy from Scream, because the guy that was saying R, I was like, is this a scary movie? What's happening?
3 things. 1, Scream 3, I think it's 3 is the best one with Parker Posey. She is just the funniest thing that's ever happened to anybody, and I love her. You should watch the Scream movies. 2, I love a scary movie, but the first Scream, I'm going to date myself, came out when I was in high school, and I saw it with a bunch of friends. And in the theater, as the movie ended, a gentleman who I did not know looked at me and said, hello, Brooke. And I was like, I don't know who you are. Freaking out. Turns out it was my friend's older brother, and I just didn't recognize the face. Did I crawl into bed with my mother at 16 years old and sleep in bed with her that night? Yes, I did. Do I still watch all of those movies to this day? I love a teeny bopper horror movie. Scream is fun, Corey. Give yourself a weekend and watch all 6 of them. They're amazing.
I'll add it to the list.
Yes.
They're so fun. Okay, anyway, sorry. We digress. So Flight Time and Big Easy are starting the leg. Big Easy is so proud of how they're running the race and how they don't have any quit in them. I mean, on the nose. And Sam and Dan are heading to the museum with a race car of a taxi driver. Meanwhile, Megan has finished her form. She doesn't unscramble the letters, and she gets it on the second try, not the first, but they're in first place, and they're told they have to make their way to the Cryo Centrum to get their next clue. So they're moving, like they're having a good day. Have you guys ever been to like a cryo chamber?
Yes and no.
Oh, I got one at a Groupon once, and I did 3 sessions, and I loved it. You just feel like good
So
afterwards.
I want to say I did, but mine was like a little different. It was like a circle. It wasn't that. This looked like a sauna, but a freezer. Mine
Yeah,
was like a
mine
circle.
was like a tube that you climbed,
and
like a
my
solo.
head was like at the top of it. Okay, so I was like, I think that's what I did, but I don't know.
Interesting. Can you compare or contrast that to like an ice bath? Because I've done an ice bath, but is it similar, or is it so cold that it like burns?
It's similar. I would say an ice bath is to me more difficult because like in the ice bath, you're breathing. You have to work on your breathing because you know when you get in the water, it's like
yeah.
So I would say with the sauna ice, you don't have that breathing. I didn't experience that.
Yeah.
I think that the ice bath is harder because it's on you to like dunk yourself in it. Whereas you walk into this chamber and like you're basically just locked in, so you really can't get out. But I do think the cryo chamber is colder. Like if you can, once you're in the ice bath, you can function. But like the cryo thing, you have to wear booties and like ear thing because your extremities will actually actively literally.
Have you
freeze.
taken an ice bath, Brooke?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah.
Yes. So, but
I
I don't enjoy either one, if I'm being fair.
They said it was minus 160, 180 Celsius. And that, maybe I just don't understand Celsius, but that sounds like a freaking terrifying number. Like that sounds like instant death. And so when I was watching this episode with Kenzie, she goes, is this where someone takes the penalty? Because in the episode like preview, it says someone takes, a 4-hour penalty at some point in the episode. And she's like, well, maybe it's this because that sounds miserable. And I was like, yeah, that's such a fair guess because that sounds horrible.
But after like an ice bath, like you feel your body, you're energetic, like your endorphins are up. It really is amazing. But yeah, that is crazy because I thought at that point in time I was with Kenzie, like, is this where somebody, but like, who couldn't do this for 2 minutes? But little did I know.
You have someone in there with you also, like just like talk,
right?
Distract your mind for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Toes.
So anyway, what'd you say?
Tap your toes.
If you can move your toes, tap them. So anyway, so Megan and Shane are going to the cryo chamber. Sam and Dan arrive to the phones as Megan and Shane are leaving. And Shane goes to take Sam and Dan's taxi. And Sam and Dan are like, no, sir, that's our taxi. And Shane goes, tell your cab it's okay to take us. And I'm thinking, what planet are you on where another team is going to say, yeah, no problem, take our cab? That's not happening.
The gall to pull that is
seriously.
just so funny to me. But also, like, I get it. In race mode, you'll do and say whatever to try and get yourself ahead, or like you'll think crazy things. But it's just such a funny idea that even popped into his head is like, yeah, they'd be cool with this.
Now, I wonder if Sam and Dan left a backpack in that taxi, because we know last week Sam and Dan stole Brian and Ericka's taxi because there was nothing in the cab that meant that they couldn't take it. So I'm curious, wondering if Sam and Dan actually left anything in that cab, but not important. Because Shane
For me, it was the audacity. I'm sorry. It was the audacity of Sam and Dan to be like, this is ours. And then going back and forth with them when they took Brian and Ericka's taxi last week. And it's not like Brian and Ericka weren't there. They were 30 feet up in the air being like, this is our taxi. So a part of me wanted Megan and Shane to continue to press the taxi driver like Sam and Dan did the other taxi driver.
Yeah, but that taxi driver was staying with the boys. And if you're wasting, at that point, you're wasting your time. Move on and find something else. That guy's not taking you. You got to get out of there, because nobody knew that it was going to take 4 hours for one team to complete this 30-minute task. Anyway.
I mean, we're safe to assume, based on Megan and Shane's performance, this is a 30-minute roadblock. It takes no more, no less. as long as you don't get lost.
Yes.
Agree, 100%. So Dan goes to do it, and Sam is worried that Dan is going to get frustrated. I love that Dan says hello every time he picks up the phone, and I think I would probably do the same. So, and at this point, Brian and Ericka are just starting, and they start talking about how they're capable of anything, how they can overcome their speed bump. I like their positive attitude, like, because we never had a speed bump, but I can see how starting at the back, especially because they were like a couple of hours behind, and then having another task to do and not knowing what it is, and realizing you're staying in the same country, there's not going to be getting on a flight that's going to equalize everybody. I could see how that would could ruin your morale, but not these two. Yeah. So
I honestly think that this was a little bit of a flawed leg design, because when we get to the end, we'll get to it. It is a short leg, staying in the same country. A team is an hour and a half behind, and they have a speed bump, and there's no travel involved. It is a night leg. So
Brian and Ericka should have gone home. Like there's no question.
In theory, there should be no world in which the last place team could catch up, assuming things go right.
Right.
But it's Amazing Race, and that's why we love the Amazing Race, because if anything can go wrong, or anything can go wrong, and you never know. And so if you're ever in the back, wise winner once told me if Phil's not coming on the course to get you, keep that butt moving.
Agree. Always, it's not over till it's over. So Big Easy and Flight Time show up at the roadblock, and in the worst decision of all time ever, Big Easy decides to do this. So Dan has gotten his 5 letters. Wait, is this right? Yeah, Dan has gotten his 5 letters, and Big Easy shows up. And meanwhile, Megan and Shane are freezing in the cryotherapy, and that's not important. And Brian and Ericka get to their speed bump. So let's do the speed bump first, because it's easy and it's super. I actually love this speed bump. A speed bump should be this: something short, sweet, easy, and you move on. So they are asked to pay a visit to the Green Ferry. Now, I don't know if you've ever had absinthe, but like I knew what it was right away. Okay, so I shouldn't like it because it's disgusting, but I kind of do. I think it's kind of delicious. It's gross, but in the best way. So they have to travel to this M1 lounge and prepare a traditional shot of absinthe and drink it. The thing is, Brian doesn't drink. And so for anyone who's never had absinthe, it's like 4,000% alcohol. It's like all alcohol. So if you don't drink, and especially if you haven't eaten, because I don't know that they had anything to eat right before they started this. I ate very little, as the race was going. And, you get up, you get ready, you start your leg. You're not thinking about breakfast, especially at night. Dude is doing the rest of the leg just sloshed. He's admittedly not sober. So they're making their absinthe. Ericka, is sort of side-eyeing Brian a little bit, because they are in a room filled with half-naked women dancing on bars. And Brian, in the most beautiful moment, goes, there's women here? I didn't even I don't know. I love them as a team. I just think they're such a joy to watch. But what did you guys think of the speed bump?
I thought it was great. I think all of the speed bumps on this season have been great. Short, simple, completable, and you can get back into the race. And so I feel like some of the speed bumps that I have seen in the later seasons, I feel like they're not as easy, and they can take a considerable amount of time. So I very much enjoy them.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it. I think sloshed might be aggressive for one shot of absinthe. It's definitely gonna instantly activate that alcohol confidence more than likely. It was a little bit of a big shot, but I feel like it's taking 2 or 3 shots.
He did say 3 other times during the rest of the leg, I'm doing this drunk. He mentioned it several times.
So funny to me that he it was just wow, that was so much, because absinthe is intense, absolutely.
And it was not a small shot. It was legitimate.
Yeah. But my favorite part about this is I like when a speed bump shows you another side of the city that you don't really see, and it highlights something. Europe is very known for its nightlife culture, and especially a city like Prague. So it's cool that they got to do something like that wasn't necessarily part of the previous things that they had seen. So I thought that was a cool little...
Poor Brian and Ericka get to see a lot of people out drinking as the night goes on. So, and a testament to, or we'll get to it, but a testament to Ericka. Okay, so back at the roadblock, Big Easy and Dan are both at the end, and Dan is randomly guessing. He does not like the judges. Big Easy gets into the office, and Dan asks him what letters he has. And Big Easy gives him the letters. Okay. And Big Easy, this is the conversation. Now, I took a note from Brice because Brice likes to write things down when he's trying to prove a point. So Big Easy says, do you want to work together? Dan says, yeah. They agree that when one person gets it, they will tell the other one. And it is on camera where Dan says yes and Big Easy says yes. Like, I want to go on record saying what happens next is truly an F word.
Trash.
Like, it is not okay. So, not important. Megan and Shane are out of the cryo chamber. They're moving on to the next thing where they have to go to the Charles Bridge. We don't care. That's not where like the drama is. So at the roadblock, like, it's time for the moment that is seriously effed up. Dan gets it. And Big Easy's like, what is it? And Dan's like, just 1 second, which I'm okay with. Make sure you get it right before you give the answer. But then he says, it starts with an F. That's all I'm going to say. I'm floored. I'm angry. I'm totally angry. That being said, I mean, in all fairness, if you're given the first letter of a 5-letter word and there's only 4 letters left and you have those letters, there's only 24 possible solutions. Like, there's not a lot of potential outcomes. You should have not taken a penalty. Still seriously fucked, but not difficult. Like, was this move okay? No, this move's dirty. Like, I don't even, if either of you think this move is okay, I don't know how to talk to you. Corey thinks it's okay.
No, I have a hard time with it because it's a dirty move, 100%. This is this is dirty. But the thing I like to contextualize with is that's within the realm of Amazing Race. If this were to happen on Survivor, no one bats an eye. We're just like, yep, that was a strategic play. It was like cruel. It was a blindside, whatever it was. It was a dirty move. But at the end of the day, a gameplay move is a gameplay move. I don't like it. I think it's bad, but I don't think that is a game-ending decision. Because like you said, 5 factorials, 120 combinations, 4 factorials, 24. But that is also assuming, do I even trust Dan anymore? Can I believe that he's telling me F is the first letter? You know, if he's going to screw me over anyway, why would he give me a hint that actually helps me? Does that really make a difference? I don't know. But
just, you don't say you're going to work together. Don't outwardly say yes if one of us gets it. And there's no doubt in my mind that if Big Easy got it, he would have given the answer
1,000%.
to Dan. And they both knew there was a team behind them. They both knew that team had a speed bump. Like, you consciously made that decision. Now, I know there might be people watching.
There, but the thing you should also keep in mind too is these two teams don't have good history with each other.
But and that's what I want to talk about, though, Corey. That's kind
then don't say yes in the first place. Like,
that's
that I think is the heart of the problem. Is I think you're totally right. I think Big Easy 100% would have given the answer, and he was going to be like, you know what, let's work together. I'm a man of my word, and so that's the problem. You know, Dan not being a man of his word, like, that stinks, and is like, I think, some poor character. But at the end of the day, it's a game. I think play it how you're going to play it.
I agree. 2 things. If it's a 5-letter word and the word has a F, a A, a R, and an N, baby, I FRAN, and there's no way I'm not. I know y'all keep saying the combinations, but the way my mind works, like, I'm spelling Frank.
Like, there's only one vowel. That vowel goes in the middle. Like, and FN is not a word. FZ is not a word. FR is the beginning of a word. Like, I'm with you 100%.
Like, there's just no way that I'm not writing FRAN, and like, I'm Megan. I'm getting on the second try. Yeah. So that's Big Easy number 1. 2. Last episode, we saw Megan and Shane say that they would work with Big Easy and Flight Time, and we see how they dismantle that and leave them. Yes, Sam and Dan and Big Easy and Flight Time don't necessarily like each other, but I actually really think that it is Dan and Sam that don't like Big Easy and Flight Time. And I've been saying all season, these micro.
I don't know if it's don't like. I think it might be threatened by. I think they might be insecure when it comes to a bigger, stronger.
And that could be true. But I just feel like throughout this season, and sometimes when we watch older seasons of reality TVs, we see microaggressions, right? Like we see them constantly. And again, I know with the editing, but it's just very interesting that all of the things that Sam and Dan have, like the accusations that they have thrown at Big Easy and Flight Time, it's just so interesting how it comes back to Sam and Dan. And it's just like, that was a nasty, nasty, dirty thing that Sam, was it Sam or Dan? Dan,
No.
whoever did it.
Yeah.
But this is my, like, it comes back to Big Easy. If I say I'm working with you, baby, we were like, I don't know if, math was not my strong suit when I was like in 4th grade. And don't tell my mom, but during some math tests, I'd be looking over some people's shoulders, okay? Big Easy is 6'7". There's no way that we say we're working together and I'm not next to you. There's no way you say to me, and I don't stand the F up. I don't
You could see
stand up.
the end where he was trying to crane his neck a little bit. I would have been on top of him so
but
fast.
I
Oh
just
my
think
God.
it's such nasty work, but I also just feel like it speaks to the character of Big Easy and Flight Time that they were so willing and able to turn the cheek and still be like, hey, after these disagreements, we'll still work with each other, because there's no way that I would have ever trusted anything that he said. And it's just even the moment he said, wait a second. I said, here go the BS. That was nasty work. However, I said all that I said, right? But I ain't mad, Joe. I am not mad. And again, this is why I love these older seasons, Corey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like where Sam and Dan, like they have been trying to eliminate Big Easy and Flight Time for over 6 episodes. And baby, they got the opportunity. And like you said, it is a part of the race. Is it nasty work? But listen, for $1 million, I might have to be a little nasty. But I don't love it. And I just hate the fact that like just Flight Time and Big Easy were just so nice. They're so friendly. They're so funny. They're so loving. They just do all these amazing things. But that was just crazy. And ultimately how it ended up was just crazy to me. But sorry, that was just had to get that off because I hadn't really been I have not liked the treatment that Big Easy and Flight Time have gotten. And I don't want to harp on it. But again, that just how I see from the episode, that's how it makes me feel.
You make really good points, and I totally
The
agree.
thing is how Big Easy took it when it happened. Like when Big Easy was like, really, dude? Like, really? And like I would have scorched earth. Like I would have lost my mind. He was such a good sport. Like he was, as he was getting screwed over, was such a good sport about it. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about it, and I don't remember what the something was. So in my season, now I almost want to cut Sam and Dan a little bit of slack, but I can't, because in my season, when there was a thing with a ladle, and I had some teams help me, and apparently now I talk to everybody. I don't remember half the things I say in this conversation, let alone on The Amazing Race. I said 1.5 million things. I don't know what came out of my mouth. I apparently agreed not to U-turn a team who helped me with the ladle. For all of the money in all of our wallets, would have said, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? Like, had no idea I even said it. And then, of course, they cut to it when we later U-turned the team, which I didn't want to do, but I did. I went along with it. That's on me. So I almost want to be like, maybe Dan didn't even realize that he said okay. But no, because it was 10 seconds later. And as soon as he got in the car, he's like, I think I just screwed over Big Easy a little bit. But they'll get it in 5 minutes because I gave him the first letter and whatnot. So I'm not okay with any of this. I think it is the dirtiest move on the race. I think when Big Easy and Flight Time are messing with somebody, they do it like in a jovial way. And like I'm cracking up because Micah can't go down a water slide and Big Easy's like, don't do it. You're going to die. Let's all go down together. Funny. When Dan says it starts with an F, that's all I'm going to tell you. I'm going to slap him across the face because you've made an agreement and you're being a shady weasel. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Shady weasel.
The thing that's interesting to me too is I think it's a flawed decision if he truly believes that Big Easy's going to get it in 5 minutes.
Agreed.
Because you've made this agreement. you're already on rough waters. And if you truly believe he's going to get it in 5 minutes and you know the other team's an hour and a half behind, they're not catching up. Why are you giving them extra fuel to burn you with when you could just be like, hey, like water under the bridge, we're good. See y'all in the
100%.
finale. But now theoretically, if they make it in 5 minutes and they get to the finale, they're going to do everything they can to screw you over because you were a jerk.
Absolutely. And again, I don't care what nobody said. If Megan and Shane were in there and they agreed to help them, there's no doubt in my mind that they would have honored that commitment.
So I think Corey makes an excellent point. Like, if you think they're going to be out of there in 5 minutes, you're only putting fuel on the fire for the next time or at the next task. Like, if I'm Big Easy in flight time and I make it the next task and Brian and Ericka show up, I'm helping Brian and Ericka. I'm doing everything I can to now get Sam and Dan out of this race because that was shady. So anyway.
Something that's really interesting to me, especially in older seasons of The Amazing Race, is how little thought people put, like premeditated thought, into the social dynamics of the show. Like, you need to have an idea going in of, am I going to work with a team, and in which scenario does it behoove me to do so? And I just think you need to be more thorough with that decision that you made. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think if you tell Sam and Dan, like, hey, if you screw them over, they're going to get eliminated, they pick that 10 times out of 10, given the way they play. They're like, yes, that's our dream. Thank you. We would love this. But 9 times out of 10, that's not the way it plays. And so it's interesting that I think teams don't prepare for, I'm going to have to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to burn a relationship.
But all right, I've said all I need to say about it, and I think it's not okay. It makes me so angry. But the part that really makes me more angry is like, there's no reason to have given up. Take a new piece of paper, just be organized. This is an OCD person's dream, this task, because there are only, so this is not like the kind of thing where Maria and Tiffany didn't have the strength to hit the ball or hit the dingy bell thing. Like, eventually you're going to get it. Even if you go through 120 options, you're going to get it in less than 4 hours if you do it methodically. Like, there's no this is not a task that you should take a penalty on. Now, granted, I did think a hot second about taking a penalty when making a ladle, but in the later seasons, the rules were your penalty doesn't start until the next team gets there, and the next team was 3 hours behind us. So in my head, I'm going, you have 3 hours, work on it, and then whatever. Now, I don't know why Big Easy didn't think to himself, if we take a penalty, it's 4 hours. Let me at least 30 minutes. Like,
that's why I was mad at flight time. When he went out there and he said, flight time, I didn't get it yet. I'm thinking about taking the penalty. And flight time was like, yeah, I was thinking maybe that. No. And I was yelling at flight time, like, what are you doing? Give him a second. Let him come out here similarly to Brian and Ericka on the bells. Give Big Easy a second. Like, let him cool off. And then I would be like, no, go back in there. I think that was the biggest mistake out of everything when his partner agreed to let him take that 4 hours. No. You're going back in there. You're doing this for New Orleans, baby. Like, you're doing this for the projects. I wanted all of that energy that we had been seeing this episode. Like, no. And I do get the strategic aspect that they tried to spin it like we're not quitting. We're just going to, sometimes when we're playing basketball, you got to sit somebody out, play something I understood all of that, but no.
I think that's such a good point. Like, your teammate needs to be one that builds you up and picks you up when you're having a down time. And you need to be able to have that ability to take a breath, take a step back. Brooke, I'm sure you had moments. I'm sure you had several. Everyone has those moments on your show where you're like, this is a nightmare. Everything's going wrong. And if you can take a second, center yourself and get back in there and approach it again, you'll typically find a rhythm. Like, you'll do something better. And I think you made a key point, Brooke, when you look at the penalty. Mathematically, the penalty here is the incorrect choice, because this is not a challenge that is, can you physically accomplish it? Can you, do you have the ability? It is strictly the strategic ability to do what feels like the first puzzle on this whole season. But if you do the math, 120, let's say it takes a minute to fill out the form every single time.
2 hours.
2 hours maximum. Now, if you truly believe F is the first letter, like the person that was working with you said, that
20 minutes
dramatically. 24 minutes to fill out every possible permutation. So you're in there for maximum 30 minutes. And that's assuming that you get it on your last try. You're not getting it on the last try. You're going to stumble upon it halfway through. If you do it formulaically, that's a new word. I made it up.
No, it's real. You're good.
Sound right to me.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's got to be 15 minutes in a system. Now, the hard part would be if the rules in the clue said you can't write down different combinations and check them off. But we see he did. They did. They were allowed to. So I don't know what goes wrong there.
I kind of wish Big Easy, when Dan was like, what letters did you get? Dan, right? He just said a different letter, so that Dan was like, oh shoot, maybe I don't have the right letters. Like, I wish there'd been something that changed that, but whatever.
You didn't have a Q in there? That'd be so good.
Oh my God, a Q. That would be amazing. So, okay. So at this point, before Big Easy decides to take his penalty, Brian and Ericka show up, and Brian decides to do this. Megan and Shane are at the Charles Bridge. Well, you know what? Fine. They're at the Charles Bridge, and this is where you get your detour. It is legend or lager. In legend, you have to build a golem by putting wet clay on a hay frame, this humongous thing, and transport it to the old new synagogue, which reminded me immediately. I don't know if you remember this, Brice. The last season we watched was season 5, and Linda and Karen, the bowling moms, went to like the new airport. Yes. And then there was an old airport. So this is the old new synagogue, and give it to the rabbi for the clue. And in lager, you have to carry 30 glasses of beer from a brewery through the town square through 5 gazillion super drunk people trying to steal the beer off your tray and give it to the people at the bar or the gentleman sleeping outside the bar because it's taking you so long to get your clue. I love those. So anyway, Megan and Shane decide to do the legend one and are making their golem. Sam and Dan are at the cryo chamber, and back at the roadblock, Brian shows up, gets his letters. Big Easy is still there trying to figure this out. Brian gets it on like the second try, maybe the first try. Second try, because I remember Big Easy being like, you can't get on the first. So he gets it on the second try. He is so excited. They run out of there. Megan and Shane, meanwhile, are making their clay guy. Sam and Dan finish the cold thing and are headed to the Charles Bridge themselves. And Brian, after he gets it, says, and I did it drunk too, just to like rub a little bit of salt in the wound.
You wasn't drunk, Brian, but like,
he might have been.
He wasn't,
bro. Imagine?
No.
2 shots?
Right.
2 shots drunk?
That's absinthe, and he's not a drinker. And who knows what they ate, if they ate anything. And I don't know. I don't think he was really drunk
at the most, but like him keep saying that he's drunk. It's just like, Brian, stop. But listen, if you can get the word right and you drunk, then listen, take another shot, because
honestly, Big Easy might have been better off if he had been a little drunk.
I'm just saying, you have FRAN. How is that not like, how do you not? I'm going to just let it go. Because listen, I'm not the best speller, right? Like, I'm not the best speller at all. But FRAN, like,
you're preaching to the choir. Like, R goes after F. If the first one is F, FR is only on. There's only one vowel. The vowel goes in the middle because you need to have it a word that makes sense. Like, it's either FRAZN or FRANZ. Like, these are your choices.
Hey, if you're gonna go on The Amazing Race, here's our racer tip.
Hold on. Hi, my name is Corey McArthur, and I was on season 35 of The Amazing Race. Welcome to my TED Talk. That's how you got to start it.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Corey McArthur. I was on season 35 of The Amazing Race. Welcome to my TED Talk. If you're ever gonna go on The Amazing Race, do the Wordle. Just start doing the Wordle.
Yes.
There you go. There's your practice.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you.
I do the Wordle every day, and that's so funny because that's the first thing that I thought of. I was like, this is what goes together. They're not going to give you the Amazing Race is never going to give you something that you can't find the answer to. They're not going to give you some Czech word that doesn't make any sense. And if they do give you, it's going to be there somewhere. Like, they're not going to expect you to know. It's like any escape room. Like, you're not going to be expected to know things that they don't give you in the room. Now, if you do, great, that's helpful. If you knew the term Kafka-esque and you understood what was going on and you knew Franz was Franz Kafka's first name, then yes, you have an advantage. That being said, they're never going to throw you in somewhere where you cannot get the answer. It's going to be an English word or a name or something. Anyway, whatever. Okay.
So I need to talk about this clay thing that they had to put together. because I feel like the clue said like we had to deliver it to the rabbi. When Sam and Dan dropped it and his arm is looking like how my arm looked when I went skiing this summer, dislocated, I really felt like there should have been some penalties involved. Now, I would like to hear from some racers. Like, what do you two think? Because, like, that arm was like, well, I was confused. I was hoping that the rabbi would send them back. And I was like, oh, like now we got an episode going on. But I was like a little disappointed that the rabbi like gave them the green light.
Yeah, I think luckily for Sam and Dan, unluckily for the viewers, this was consistent with their earlier rulings. If you look at the giraffe that Zev and Justin dropped and absolutely shattered, it seemed like whether or not things get there in one piece wasn't as important as you just need to check off the box. I'm sure part of that is because they're like, we have a finite amount of resources, and if everyone breaks them, like we don't really have a way to accommodate that. But I like the idea that if you break something or mess something up, there should be some sort of, penalty or repercussion or slight adjustment you should make. 5 minutes sitting there, you're in timeout, go to the corner, read your book, whatever, like
I will say
something. And this also pulls back to most recent season 37. If you remember the tile that got shattered, that played no role whatsoever, yet was a cliffhanger going into a commercial break. Start imposing some sort of rule. Someone breaks something,
you break it, you buy it. I will say with the giraffe earlier in the season, it flat out said in the clue, if your animal breaks, you need to pick up all the pieces and take them with you. It said here, if it was up to like the rabbi's like specifications, or if he accepts it. So I really do think they should have either had to go back, get more mud and fix it so that it wasn't falling apart anymore, or do something. Because I mean, look, rabbis are kind people. He just let it go, and I guess I'm okay with that. But there should have been something they had to do to fix it, because it did clearly have a gap in the arm and was like, okay, it wouldn't have mattered, but
still
it matters. So, okay. So Megan and Shane are wheeling their golem. Sam and Dan are starting that detour. Brian and Ericka are at the cryotherapy. She's from Florida. She hates the cold. She is not happy. And Flight Time and Big Easy are sitting listening to a bunch of phones ringing. Brian and Ericka get to the detour, and they decide to do logger. They're the only team that does that side. Megan and Shane, by the way, have gotten the check, and they're in first. And Sam and Dan, their half-broken thing, gets the check, and they are in second. And then Dan gets in the car and says, I was a baby, I'm sorry, because that's what he does. He apologizes. So just Megan and Shane check in. They're in first place. They win. What do they win? They win something.
First trip in the last like 6 legs. I think it's a trip to Hawaii.
Oh, no. That's last time. They win a pair of 52-inch LCD TVs. I am dying to know if they still have all of this stuff. And then they're told.
You know that LCD TV was like probably like 200 pounds though.
But also like cutting edge at that point. So Corey, I'm sure you had this moment, because this is my second favorite moment that happened to me on the race, where Phil looks at you and says, you are one of the 3 teams that'll be racing for the $1 million. Like, I remember that moment so clearly. Like, I floated up and I was like, this is it. Like, no matter what happens next, I mean, hopefully we win, but this is the goal. Make it to the end, make it around the world. Everything else is sort of gravy. So they get that moment. Like, do you remember, where were you when that happened with you?
Oh, absolutely. That was the first leg my dad and I won, was the Ireland.
Same.
We get to the mat. Our first win was the penultimate leg. And
did you win a prize?
We did. We won Expedia points for a trip to Fiji. And we haven't taken it yet, but we were on the moon, because we have like 5 second place finishes. We finally broke the seal. And at the end of the day, like you said, the goal is to get to the finale. Nothing else matters. We've seen time and time again, whatever you do, the first 10, 11 legs don't matter. Get to the finale and make it happen.
You won a trip to okay. So Brice knows I'm bitter about this, and I'm less bitter because we won. But if we hadn't won, I'd be like super bitter about this. There was no prize on the penultimate leg on my season of the race. have you been to Fiji? Because I will tell you exactly where to stay. It's the nicest place I've ever been in my entire life. Tokariki Resort. I don't care if everybody knows. Everyone should go there. It was heaven on earth. They have a package that gets you 2 massages a day, and they just come to your villa and they just rub you, and it's amazing, and the food is amazing, and the whole thing. Oh my God, you have to get there by helicopter. Like, they fly you over the Survivor Islands, and they're like, that's where Survivor films. And I went diving right by the I have so much to tell you. Sorry, this will for another time.
Well, absolutely, yeah. We'll get together. You'll give me all the recommendations.
I want a trip for that. No prize, but unimportant. Megan and Shane are in the finale. Sam and Dan are in the finale, and they say we've beaten Megan and Shane twice before. We can certainly do it again. Big Easy and Flight Time still have 2 hours left of their penalty, and Ericka and Brian are doing the logger. Now, she wants to switch because she's dropping stuff, he's dropping stuff, but out of the 30, they get 7 on their first try, and people are like heckling Ericka, like someone's like, you're an American and you have an attitude, and she's like, I do have American attitude, and you watch it or I'll slap you.
I wrote that down. That was the line of the season, I think. Quote, yeah, I do have some American attitude. Touch me and you get punched.
You get punched. Yes.
Love.
Can we talk about, I know that the Amazing Race producers will never jump in, but like that seemed wild to me. The first couple of people that were like talking, I was like, oh, okay. But as the night progresses, you get people trying to grab the beer. You get people walking up on them like drunk. And so they just won't do nothing.
If you remember correctly from season 5, they were at that discotheque.
Yeah,
and like the foam party, and women got grabbed. Also, there was, I think it was season 27, if I'm correct about it, there was a train in India, and there was a female, they were doing a task in India. Tiffany and Krista, they were Jets cheerleaders, and one of them was doing a roadblock and got like, there were like inappropriately touched. Now, I think that some rules were adjusted after that, and people will step in after that. But no, I think if someone's actually going to get hurt, you know what I mean? Like if there was actually like a knife, a weapon, danger, like, but they will let it play out as it goes.
Yeah, I know Amazing Race has adjusted some of their broader rules, but more so to avoid putting people in situations like that. Like they don't do train travel in India anymore. They don't do like certain things that put people in precarious scenarios. But I don't know that they would be able to really get involved anyway, because like there isn't a security team that's with every team at any given moment that's ready to jump. Like they're tracking you, but not right there.
And so that being said, I never felt unsafe. Like, and I'm not a big person. I'm certainly not a strong person or a fast person, but I never felt like I was in danger, even though Scott and I were running around places at night. Like there was a camera person and a sound person, but it was never, you know, and security's with someone somewhere, and sometimes you have a producer with you, but like they do a very good job of keeping people safe. So what you see on TV happens, but I think that if there was a real unsafety, like they would do something. I like whether it's just keep people back or not affect.
Saying no. If my task is to deliver this beer and I actively had people trying to touch, like, but again, I understood that's a part of it, but like. And I'm with Ericka, somebody getting punched and somebody getting cussed out. Okay. Like, and that's why I love Brian and Ericka so much, where it's like, obviously Brian is the calm, level-headed, cool one. Ericka's Brian. But that Brian came in handy because Ericka was handling business on the streets. So I was like, yeah, I love it. But that was crazy to me. I was like, what in the hell is going on?
I mean, go ahead.
I was just going to say, quick answer. You two, like, let's say you're on this season. That's your Detour. Which one are you picking?
I'm actually picking that one.
I am too. I was a waitress.
I think so as well. And I think it's the wrong decision, but I think I would have chosen it.
I think because you're in a place, enough people speak English that you can get guided where you need to go. And I noticed that Brian and Ericka took a cab in the middle of their detour
to go back
to the brewery. So they didn't have to walk it the entire time. They were able, if they had the money, to take a taxi back. They just had to walk it one direction. So, yeah, I think I would have done that one. It's probably the wrong decision. They both seemed very difficult, but given my size and my ability to carry a humongous monster through the streets, which is 0, I think that's probably the right. Even if you do, I mean, Ericka at one point was just holding one in each hand. Like, you're gonna get it. Right. I don't know how it took them the entire night. I'm not totally
And that's
sure
the thing where I'm with Corey though. Like, even with Sam and Dan and Megan and Ericka, like, they were relatively out, and Brian and Ericka were in there with Big Easy, so it's like it clearly took some hours. But again, I'm thinking it's season 15. Where are these intoxicated people at? Come help me. Hold this.
Well, I thought about that, but these people are so drunk they're probably drinking your beers, and then you don't get help. Then then that's a waste. So I did think about that. Like, get your taxi driver to walk it with you.
What if you offer a group of drunk people? You're like, hey, you can have one, but you got to carry 3 of them.
Carry 3 and have one.
I wonder if there was something in the rules at that point. Obviously, nowadays they would have written that into the rules, like you can't have help.
But Zeb and Justin had their taxi driver do a task for them. Like, I think it would probably have been okay. Yeah.
And I'm sorry,
but I just think Ericka wasn't having it. Like, I don't think she was. These people were very drunk. It's the middle of the night. I just think they didn't want to deal with it.
And if I have to complete a task and the judge is asleep, how will he know? Who's going to find out?
He was not sleeping. I love that so much.
He was so asleep. That was iconic when they bring those last beers and the judge is slumped just on the wall, like, you're good. That was incredible.
Give them their clue. I like that when they got to the pit stop, the greeter wasn't even there anymore. Say again? Oh yeah, the bar was definitely closed.
The bar was closed. They couldn't use it during hours.
Yeah, no.
That guy was
I don't know how it took that long. Was it that
they
far?
They said it'd be 45 minutes, but for $20, like, it's 6 hours later. That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Okay, so Brian and Ericka want to finish the detour before the sun comes up. They don't. The sun comes up, the penalty is over, and Brian and Ericka deliver their last beers to that sleeping guy outside the bar, and they are in third, and they get to the pit stop. Now, Brian and Ericka, having done this, you never know where anybody else is. Like, I would assume that Big Easy and Flight Time are going to do the other one, like the brute strength one. So they legitimately thought it was over. Flight Time and Big Easy don't do the cryotherapy because they're told to go right to the pit stop. Not a full elimination because Phil doesn't come out on the race course. Anyway, at pit stop, Brian and Ericka get there, and when Phil tells them they're third, I have never seen a team lose their shit like this team lost their shit, and I loved it. Like, you can tell how badly they want to be there and how it's just been not a good day for them or night for them, and it's now morning, and they are just beyond.
I love this team. I'm so happy that they finally made it to the end. I'm a little worried for them, and I'm a little worried. I don't know who wins this season, Corey, but at this point, I think it might be Sam and Dan, and I don't know how I feel about it because, like, Brian,
they're the only team you haven't picked yet. So now you've hedged your bets for every team. It's amazing.
I'm just saying, I really like Brian and Ericka. I think that they kill it and work together, but I do feel like they've had some challenges and some like maybe this is the boost, but I've been rooting for Megan and Shane. They've been killing it, but I feel like they've been killing it too much, and I feel like an era is going to happen, and I feel like it's Dan and Sam, but I'm obviously pulling for Brian and Ericka and definitely pulling for Megan and Shane because they've been killing it and they've been a solid team outside of the hiccup that they have had. But the montage that they gave Big Easy and Flight Time, and I'm assuming it's because of the episode placement, or and maybe y'all can help me out with this, maybe because they knew that this was like America's sweetheart team. Their montage was just so amazing.
I think it's because they didn't finish the leg. So sometimes, like, if a team finishes a leg and they're last, they'll show like very quick clips of them doing the other tasks to get to the end, but they didn't do the other tasks. So I think they put together a little montage for them. I loved how it ended for them well, we know they come back, so we'll see them again. But I love how it ended for them because even in the worst moments, like the penalty ends, they keep going. Nobody badmouths anybody else. Big
They're
Easy's like, this
cracking
is my fault. And I call him Herb. Flight Time is like, it's not. We're a team. This is it. They smile. They laugh. They say the experience was priceless. They're off and they're finished. And I mean, I do think they shouldn't have gone home because I think they should have just gone through the options, but it is what it is, and that's how it ended. But we got to keep Brian and Ericka, which makes me so happy because I just think they are a joy to watch. Like, you never know what she's going to say next, and I find that so fun. Look at them.
I agree. They're adorable. Flight Time and Big Easy, also adorable. Love them. Such cute friends, and so sad to see them go. I think it's very obvious, too, that the producers know when they have a sweetheart team that people are going to want back for All Stars. And so I think there's a little bit of like people are going to love them. Let's put some more Flight Time and Big Easy in there.
There are just so many teams where if this had happened and somebody quit, like that would have been the end of the team, the end of the friendship. Everybody's pissed. It's not ending happily. These two are so good to each other that even given this is how it ended, like you want to see them again because you're not even like bad about it.
Right.
I will say, Brice, I think there's one thing that's going to annoy you a little bit. The season finale is next week, which you will get to watch. It takes place in Las Vegas, Nevada. So there is a team. You know how I say, if you wait long enough, there'll be a task for you. If Maria and Tiffany had lasted longer, this would have been the day for Maria and Tiffany, but they did not make it to the task made for them. So when you're watching, you'll see, and I'm curious to see how you feel about the last one.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, a fun note with Flight Time and Big Easy going out here, they are being eliminated with the second best racing average placement in the season. Pending results, Sam and Dan theoretically could pass them, depending on how they do in the finale, but Brian and Ericka could not. So right now, assuming things go the way you predict that they would, Flight Time and Big Easy will end statistically the second best team of the season.
Wow. And to think
you don't have to be statistically the best. You just have to finish first one time.
The one thing that I love the most about Flight Time and Big Easy, though, and I just love their friendship. I love even during the penalty, Flight Time is like, how many of them papers did you have? Did you have over there? Big Easy's like, I killed 4
trees. I killed 4 trees, he says.
Like, that is the type of friendship that you just love. But it is just crazy to think that we started this summer rewatch and we are at the end, and we have our 3 teams, Megan and Shane, Dan and Sam, and Brian and Ericka.
All right, Brice, call it.
So, I mean, okay.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Megan and Shane. However, my dark horse has to be Brian and Ericka.
And if it's not them, then it has to be Sam and Dan. Okay, good.
I mean, statistically, but this is what I will say, right, about Brian and Ericka, even though at this point I don't really think they like, but I like them. Like, I do like them, and I like Brian, and I like Ericka. I like the fact that even though Ericka does a lot, and she doesn't give up. Like, even last episode with the thing, and Brian's like, come on, baby. And she's like, shut up. But she kept going, even with the bells. Now, the bell episode, I was like, don't, like, she got out. Brian was there. He supported her. But I don't know. Megan and Shane they've had their issues. You can clearly see that they are, when they get back to the hotel, Megan is like, when you yell, I don't like it. We're going to work on that, because when they're screaming, she's bringing it up. You're like, you're screaming at me. We're going to be patient. And it's like, so I feel like we've seen them. And the brothers, they are good. But I just feel like karma is whatever.
A 5-letter word.
Yes. Okay. And we're not asking Big Easy to just scramble it for us. Okay. We're going to miss that. But I just feel like karma is something. And so they either going to be third or second. Okay. But I don't know. It's anyone's game.
That's what makes it
really
fun.
Could be.
That's what I think makes it really fun, not knowing where it's going to end up, because it could be any of these teams.
They all have a good shot, and they've all done really well this season. Like at this point, end of leg. This is technically like 11 at this point.
Okay.
There's 10 episodes, but 11 legs. They are like crushing it. Megan and Shane at this point have a 2.09 average placement. Sam and Dan have a 3.27. Brian and Ericka have a 4.36. So a little bit softer, but all teams that you would expect to be in the mix.
Corey, do you know what your average was?
3.17.
Oh my God, you legitimately know. We were 4.5 maybe.
And it's one of those things where it doesn't matter. The number one team until Ricky and Cesar dethroned them didn't even win their own season. So you never know. But what I will say, interesting context for this point, this was like one of the first teams, Megan and Shane, to be this dominant through the like majority of their race. Because if the season were to end right here with a 2.09 average, that would make them what is currently the 6th best team of all time. But at that point, that would have been the 2nd best Amazing Race team ever. Like,
who was the first?
The first. Do you want a spoiler? I don't know if you're going to get around to it, Brice. I think it's season 9.
Don't tell me. I don't.
It's not worth. You don't need to watch season 9.
Okay.
So I'll hold it.
No,
but
we'll watch them all. We'll watch them all. Season 9's fine. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I got it.
But through this point, there's been 15 seasons. In all of the 15 seasons, they would have landed as the 2nd best team ever if they win or even take 2nd.
Is it Colin and Christy?
No.
Okay.
They were season 5. You watched it.
I mean, don't they play again?
31.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I want to know. I don't like Corey with these numbers. Now it makes me. I'm so like
it's so good with statistics. Like, is there anything else you want to throw at us?
Those were the big numbers I had, but one fun big picture idea I had that Kenzie gave me as we were watching. She pointed out this season there's a lot less puzzle challenges and so many needle in a haystacks, which is weird because you'd expect that to create more parity. And yet there's such a gap between a clustering at the top, if you will, between the top 3 to 4 teams, and everyone else was kind of down at the bottom.
I love a puzzle challenge. A puzzle every level as far as I'm concerned. Give me all puzzles.
I love a needle in a haystack.
I promise you would not if you had to do it.
I mean, I know, but I just feel like, what's your thoughts on needle in a haystack, Corey? Do you like them?
It's such mixed feelings. I hate them mostly because I like that the puzzle comes down to skill. I think puzzles I'm good at. And so I think that's part of it. Needle in a haystack gives you a little bit of opportunity. So my dad and I have a rule where if the detours are needle in a haystack or something you can make progress on, don't go needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Make progress. Do something you'll get done eventually. And so I think that's part of why. But I also I did one needle in a haystack actually, and that it is terrifying. Like that is such high intensity. So I don't know.
I actually agree with what you're saying. If it's progress or needle in a haystack, always do the progress, unless you're last. There is a team doing the progress. There's an elimination leg, and you have to give yourself a Hail Mary to try and find the needle in a haystack quickly. That's the caveat where I would say, all right, give yourself a shot. Be the Big Easy and find the snowman. Right.
Yes. I also just feel like I consider myself a lucky person, right? And I just feel like I was having this conversation with someone at the beach today that your energy, what you put out, what you go into things, I really do believe that it can draw you to some things. So I don't know. I think that needle in a haystack, it can take a special skill. And I think that, I might possess it, but I still can't believe that we have come to the end of episode 10 and there's only one more episode left and we will find out who wins season 15. If it is Sam and Dan, I've loved you guys all season, and congratulations. So we'll have to see what happens next
We're gonna
week.
have some special guests with us next time, and you don't know who they are. So for your sake, I hope it's not Sam.
I'm gonna have to call Corey and get some statistics so I can let them know. But Corey, we can't thank you enough for joining us. It is always such a pleasure and a treat. And Brooke, as always, these summer rewatches are amazing. Please tune in next week as we will be doing the season finale of Amazing Race season 15.
I want to say thank you, Corey, for agreeing with me that it was in fact the elimination. Love you all.
I actually, I do have a statistic that Corey did not pass the bar, so his ruling, unfortunately,
but I did.
But you're not the judge. So listen, we'll have to take Corey with a grain of salt, but we definitely love him. We'll be back next week. It wasn't for elimination. Bye.
Yes, it was. Bye.
Oh wait, I said that.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.